Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 9 auto-reloading Italian tank destroyer, the Contraccaro Mark II. This is the worst damage per minute vehicle in Tier 9, and by a long shot. Just to show statistically, I'm going about 2,700 in this vehicle, which is pretty good, but definitely a bit on the painful side when it comes to trying to get out damage. For example, a vehicle like the Standard B that I've played for a very long time, I'm over 3,000 average in. So it really shows you the difference between this vehicle or, you know, even a Skoda T50, I'm going 3,011 average. A Mil 2, I'm going 3,200 average. So the fact that this tank has such bad DPM, you can see it actually does resonate in my statistics at only about 2,700 for me when I normally go about 3,000 plus in Tier 9. How bad is the actual DPM on this tank? Well, it's pretty dang bad. If we make our way to the auto-reloading gun statistics, we can see that the first shell is a 9.96 second reload. So there you go. Add on a 3.54 second interclip. That means you have exactly 13.5 seconds of reload to deal 450 damage. So we do 60 divided by 13.5, multiply that by the 450 alpha. This tank, at its highest peak damage per minute, is 2,000 on the dot. That is already awful. If you ate into your first shell, and let's say you fired your second, that means now you have an 11.77 second reload, plus the 3.54 second interclip, a 15.31 second reload. So again, divide 60 by 15.31, and multiply that by the 450 alpha, and now your DPM is 1,763. Now, judging that this is an auto reloader, and the whole point of this tank is to dump your clip, or at least 2 shells and not use your reserve shell, effectively you're going to be sitting at around 1,700 DPM most of the time when using this vehicle. Holy bad, is that awful? I mean, even the vehicle like the Mil 2 still has about 2,000 damage per minute when it dumps the full clip. It's nowhere near as bad as a vehicle like the Contraccaro 1 Mark II. When you add that into the fact that this is also the most immobile Tier 9 in the game, and you can understand where it has its fair share of problems. Now, there are situations when it's quite a fun vehicle. I have to say that it has an incredibly deadly clip. 450 alpha with 3 shells gives you a possible damage of what, like 1,300 and something? Which means that it is the highest clipping potential in the game. It should be 1,350 of a clip, which is actually pretty insane. So I do like the fact that if you were able to dump a clip into somebody, it is absolutely devastating. But you have to be really careful. Now, I'm hoping that we can squeeze on up here, and I really want to make my way up towards where my shark is over here, but my action 10 is just kind of in my way. But these guys shot, which will give me the ability to go up. So here we go, speed. And okay, beautiful. So we got the VK off to the side, and there you go. One easy shell into the VK, and my K91 blocks me. Thank you very much. Let's go for a second easy shell into the VK, and now we back up. Now, you can see where the mobility on this tank is quite poor. And the problem with that is it's not like this tank has incredible armor, but it does have very good armor when you're able to hide the lower plate. So we're just going to chill here for now. We're going to try and hide that lower plate. That shark is actually the one that's been penning me the entire time. It hasn't been this T-32 at all, so I'm planning on shooting this shark when I get the shells. So there you go. There's 1 shell into the shark, and 2 shells into the shark. And because I really don't like this guy, 3 shells into the shark. There you go. We have absolutely crippled his game. Now, unfortunately, we have a VK-45 on my side, and not much I can really do about that. I am happy I dumped my clip because we're stuck in an absolutely awful position here. We have 2 full health sharks, which I've basically taken all the shells for, so I'm hoping that they take advantage of the situation they are in. I have loaded 1 shell into the gun, which is nice. It's at least somewhat nice, right? 1 shell is better than none. We got a Barask off to the side, who I really don't want to be shot by, and it looks like the VK just shot, which means we can kind of pull around this corner here. 3, 2, 1, and boom! There you go. 1 nice shell into you. And now I'm going to back up and start heading towards the Chimera instead. and maybe we can get a nice dump into him. I'm not really sure, but you can definitely see where this tank has its downsides. It's not the strongest in every situation. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm not really going to worry about that guy. I'm going to go for a shell into the Chimera. So let's see. Hello, Poob. There you go. One nice shot and two nice shots. Okay, well, look at that. We actually did over 3,000. I would say 3,300-ish. Yeah, 3,331 damage dealt in this battle, which is a pretty solid chunk. And, yeah, we did pretty good. There's a lot of people out there that will wonder why I dumped my clip. And in certain situations, you do. And certain situations, you don't. The way I gauge whether I should dump that last shell or not is whether I feel like I'm still going to be able to get more damage out later, and if it's going to affect my team or not. There are situations where if I see, let's say, a good player playing aggressive, and I'm able to absolutely nuke that player, and I have cover behind me, then sometimes I will go for the full clip, because then I can just back up, and I've crippled that player to a point where they're not going to be able to play nearly as aggressive, and I can still play just as aggressive. I just have to wait 40 seconds to get my shells back into the game. That is a very good situation where you actually can get your clip out. But either way, let's see what we can do in this battle. This time we are up against tier 10s. Now what I will say about this vehicle is that it's not bad against tier 10s, but it's not great either. The biggest problem specifically with this vehicle is the traverse. Look at it. It's awful. I mean, why did Wargaming ever think making this tank have just the worst traverse was a good idea? They allow tanks like the Type 71, the Object 263, the Badger to have 48, 47 degrees of traverse. And yet this vehicle, which needs the traverse really more than any of those tanks, is absolutely screwed, all because it has a turret. I guarantee if this vehicle didn't have a turret, it would be much better on traverse. I mean, heck, even a vehicle like the T110E3 has better traverse because, you know, it has super speed boost. So it really is very illogical on Wargaming's decision. I mean, look at it. It's so bad. You have to, like, begrudgingly turn the tank somewhere. And I can tell you already, if there's a 183 looking at you, you're basically screwed because you're never going to get out of the dude's line of sight in time. So, yeah, you gotta be really careful when using this vehicle. Now, in this position, I'm gonna drive up a little bit. We got the ST1 off to the side. Can't really get a shell into him. Is there anybody around this corner? Oh, there's a 183. How fun. Well, let's get one. Let's get two. And this is the perfect example of where you get three. There you go. That is a 1,400 damage clip into his tank. But now we are in the situation of possibly being YOLO'd. So I'm just going to chill here. They don't know how many shells I have. I don't know why that guy shot that either. But they don't know how many shells I have. So I can just kind of chill here and reload my clip. And this is the perfect example of where dumping your clip can be an actual decent idea. So we're doing okay. We got to wait another 10 seconds for our next shell. I really want to shoot that leopard, but unfortunately I just can't get it out. 3, 2, 1. All right. So we've finally started to get our shells into the vehicle. We're going to start making our way through the map. The mouse is covering me on the one side, and this leopard's kind of getting pooped on. There you go. One easy shell into the leopard. And we also got the 30B poking his track. There you go. Nice shell into the 30B. With that, we're up to 2,300. So again, you can see the alpha's very nice. Just, you can see the damage permitted on this vehicle is so bad. I'm just really sitting here trying to get shells loaded, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm just going to dump it. I mean, if... And there you have it. I was going to dump it and get 3K. I'm still going to shoot him because it's not going to make a difference. But that right there is a perfect example of where you go from getting 3,000 damage to where you don't. You have an easy pen on the side of a vehicle that you should be able to cut through, and then the game says, actually, no, you're not going to pen him. Instead, you're just not going to do anything. Now, I think we still will get 3K because the 704 is right here. And this is a pretty easy shot into his vehicle. There you go. Nice 506 shot. And there you go. So we still did 3,000, but you can definitely see where the Contra Caro, specifically the tier 9, feels incredibly painful to bounce a shell or not hit an easy shot. I like the tank. I don't love it. It's very boring to play. It's very immobile. And I really hope that Wargaming makes the line just a bit more traversy in the future. But let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. As always, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. And yeah, this is the worst DPM tier 9. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.